All right, Junkie Nation, he's back. 6-time world kickboxing champion and current PFL president, one of the founders as well. Don't forget that. Ray Sefo, an OG in combat sports and definitely been with PFL since day one. What's up, Ray? How are you?
Good, brother. How are you?
Good. Hey, man, big signing this morning. 9 a.m. it dropped. That's when I saw it on MMA Junkie, of course. But you guys got Fabricio Werdum. That's awesome.
No, yeah, I was once I knew he was becoming a free agent. Obviously, I hassled Ali about it, and Ali had a few other offers on the table, but I'm just thankful that we were able to work it out and finalize his deal. So it was awesome. I'm super happy about it.
I know these guys call themselves prize fighters. You fought as well, so you throw yourself into that. But what do you think also made the difference? There's got to be some intangibles when a free agent looks at the different offers that are out there, aside from money. Do you think there's something else PFL brought to the table that Fabricio, his eyes lit up?
Yeah, the one thing that he's really excited about, it goes back to the old days, but he was talking about how you want to do this 2 fights in one night thing, you know what I mean? And so that kind of got him excited. And of course, a few other things that we were able to offer him that, from what I understand, it wasn't possible elsewhere. So that kind of solidified the deal for him. And of course, the fact that he's on ESPN and the fact that he gets to stay home as well. So I think there was a lot of factors that came into it that persuaded him to sign with us.
Stay home as in, do you guys plan on having shows in LA, or I'm hearing behind the scenes Las Vegas? Can you confirm that?
That's correct. That's in the works right now. But when I mean stay home, I mean also in the US. You know what I mean? Because there was an offer from overseas as well, I believe.
Oh, okay. All right. I got you. Well, tremendous signing, and then, of course, going back to what you guys had already come to the table with in 2020 with Roy McDonald, Justin Willis, OAM, Bubba Jenkins. You guys are really, really stacking the deck nicely for 2021.
Yeah, obviously for us, it's been, this pandemic has caused us to postpone the season, but I'm just super happy that we're able to kick off the 2021 season with the names that we have. The likes of Fabricio Werdum, one of the biggest names in the heavyweight division, and then Rory McDonald, who's a former world champion, and so on, and everybody else, and of course our champions returning from last year. So I think it's going to be a great season, 2021.
Also, Ray, I should have tagged this along with the question about venue location. Are you guys just looking to do what the other leagues, not just in MMA, but other sports are doing, and that's creating a bubble for season 2021?
Yeah, I think that's the only way to do it. And, just from my own experiences, meaning a couple of fighters from our camp that have contracted COVID-19, obviously, when somebody gets infected, and they come to the gym, and then it's like wildfire, it just spreads. And so it's important that everybody, it's in a bubble situation where we're able to watch everybody's movement in terms of, who's coming and going, and just keep everybody safe.
Ray, everybody's kind of learning on the fly here with everything that's going on with COVID-19, but one of the coolest things I saw was you guys allowing Kayla Harrison to get a fight over at Invicta. I thought that was really, really cool. Does it just stop there? Are there other fighters that may do things like that? And can you ever envision maybe Invicta fighters coming over to PFL or a different league sending some fighters over? It seems like you guys are just kind of open and have that good relationship with everyone.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, we can all help each other. And guys, I mean, when you think of Sarah Kaufman, she was from Invicta also. You know what I mean? So Shannon Knapp over there has been really amazing in terms of having to work with her from in the past, of course, but also now having Kayla fight on the card this weekend. It's yeah, we've allowed a couple of other guys to box, a couple of guys to wrestle. You know what I mean? We just feel like it's not only the right thing to do, but also it allows them to stay active.
Back to Fabricio Werdum, a deal like that, to me, when I saw it, it broke right before our show on Tuesday, and it kind of almost threw me off my game because you start thinking of all the different scenarios. But a deal like that, how long did it take from beginning to end? And can you maybe share what the longest deal has ever been for you, having to sit on the phone and emails and all that, and then maybe what the shortest deal has ever been?
It wasn't long at all, to be honest. It was a few weeks, but at the same time, I'm also myself, Pete Murray, and Jim Branson. You know, of course, Don Davis is involved in those negotiations as well. But normally, we're pretty straightforward. You know, we make an offer, they counter offer, we make a few red lines here and there, and the deal gets done. So, yeah, I want to say, I mean, this one was pretty much done within 2 to 3 weeks. The longest, I'm not too sure, but I off memory, it's always been kind of around that park of like 2 to 3 weeks.
Are you guys done, or is there going to be a couple more? You have a couple more.
You just have to wait and see. No, we're, again, for us, is whoever becomes a free agent. Like I've spoken to a lot of managers, whoever becomes a free agent, we would like to be part of those conversations. And that was the same with Fabricio. And we're very, excited that he was happy with the deal and we were able to get him. So for us, it's, if you're a free agent, we want to be part of those conversations.
In 2021, is it going to be similar to other seasons where you have 12 per weight class minus the ladies, and then 8 advance to the finals? I think you said it already, twice in one night. So very similar, or are there any different tweaks?
Right now, there might be some tweaks. I mean, it's in discussions, but it's not 100% confirmed. Or we're just kind of throwing ideas around. But we should have something finalized by end of December.
I was looking at the website, and of course those 4 letters stick out always. ESPN, broadcast partners of yours. Tell me, looking back, you all probably huddled together and made the decision to cancel this season and look forward to 2021. But was there ever a time where you guys almost dipped back in? And was ESPN part of that, or did they always allow you guys to make the decisions?
We ultimately, the decision was ours, but they also had a little bit of input in it as well. They thought it was a good idea that, especially going back in the beginning, right from the get-go, when there was a lockdown happening, we knew that at that point in time, nobody really knew what was going to happen or how long it was going to go on for, whether sports were coming back or not. Nobody had any idea of what. So just for the safety of our fighters as well as our team, we collectively made the decision to postpone the season. That being said, we also wanted to see what would happen by mid-August. There's a possibility of things happening, but the season takes 8 months to complete. So it was already too late for us to start the season.
Can you update us? A few months ago, there was some feathers getting ruffled. Is everything good now with all of your roster, your champions? Of course, Lance Palmer, I believe, is one of the ones that was butting heads a little. I don't know how you would describe it, but
I think he was just frustrated because obviously he's a fighter and having to sit out for a little while. He wasn't too happy about that. But unfortunately, that's just what the pandemic has allowed us to do, or should I say, the fact that the pandemic happened, obviously not a fault of ours, and so the season takes 8 months to complete, and unfortunately, some fighters were unhappy about it. When I say some, I mean one or two. But the rest of the team were completely understood. And of course, we allow for certain fighters to, like I said, wrestle. Taylor Harrison going to be fighting this coming weekend. And a couple of guys that boxed. I think one of the guys did pro wrestling. So, we went really trying to stop anybody. Obviously, we would like to, the message that was sent out to the managers and the fighters was that we're willing to work with you as long as you guys keep us up to date with what was happening and who, the opponent is or whatever you were doing. So we made sure that there was communication, made sure that the communication was very clear. But right now things are looking good, and so we just hope that this pandemic ends real soon and everybody gets back to some sort of normalcy.
Agreed. Let's close with this. I will say my heart broke a little bit because I guess I kind of fancied a Werdum Emelianenko rematch. I mean, my heart wasn't set on it, but I thought about it. But I like that Russian you got in Ali Isaev. So, if it can come down to something like that, we'll still get Werdum versus a big name Russian. I consider him a big name Russian. I think he's really got a lot of potential. And plus, you nailed it. Werdum twice in one night. I mean, a lot of these fighters have already gone through that or have always wanted to go through it. I know you've gone through it in the kickboxing world as well. That's some gang shit right there.
Yeah, I mean, with K1 and we fought 3 times in one night. Of course, just like the PFL, you got to win to move on. And I think Werdum loved that idea as well, that the more he wins, the more he's closer to that $1 million. And so, but in terms of Ali, our champion, I 100% agree with you. He's actually a dark horse. Wow, not so much of a dark horse anymore. He's the champion, right? But what I mean is that I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. He's a big, strong guy who can wrestle, who can strike, and I think with becoming the champion and winning the way he has been winning, I think it just adds to his confidence, and I think the best is yet to come for him.
Yeah, I definitely could.
But what a better way to if he ends up in the finals with Fabricio, what a better way to to kind of solidify that.
Correct. I couldn't agree more. Okay, I just wanted to ask you now, personal question. I was on Instagram. I saw that you put up that fight that you had with Mike Bernardo years ago. I loved it. I watched it. It was great, man. You guys really went at it. But then I started thinking, I think it was the same day that I was watching Tyson, and then, of course, Pat Miletich recently. Hey, man, does it ever burn to get back in there in any form of combat for you?
100%. Once a fighter, always a fighter, right? I mean, I'm in the gym 6 days a week. I still spar 3 days a week. So, I mean, I'm retired, but if things are right and something that's worth doing, I'm all for it. Especially because I'm still active in the gym. You know what I mean? I'm still in the gym sparring the guys, like I said, 3 days a week. And so once a fighter, always a fighter.
Exactly. You're definitely always in the gym for sure. But I was thinking about something like this past week. Paul Felder shows up to Las Vegas with a suit and tie. He was going to call fights and he wound up fighting. You know what I mean? And I'm just wondering if something like that could ever happen. What? Oh, God forbid, one of the heavyweights can't go. Well, we got Ray Sefo here. Situation like that.
Oh, in the PFL?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would do it in the PFL. You know, I've done it already, and I wanted to just experience it. And so I don't know if I'll do it again for us. You know what I mean? But elsewhere, listen, I had an offer to fight in France, and at the end of January, the guy's trying to do some sort of like a Legends final fight kind of thing, right?
Right.
But it's just it just didn't. All the stuff that needs to be right for me to fight, it wasn't there, so I kind of turned it down.
All right. Well, hey, one can dream. But listen, it's great catching up with you. We haven't seen much of you this year because the gym went through a shutdown, and then of course limited exposure. But great to see you here, and huge announcement for PFL. Congrats on that, signing Fabricio Werdum to the 2021 season. Hopefully we can see you soon over there at Extreme Couture now that things are starting to kick back a little.
Yeah, no, likewise. No, I mean, I'm looking forward to season 21, and I think that PFL is going to start the year off with a bang. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and it starts earlier this year. Starts in April this year versus
That's right.
May and June previous year. It's cool. All right, so we only got a few months to go. We got about 4 months to go. So we got to get through these holidays and stay safe. So that goes to you and your family as well.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.